Two tiny twins, one simple act of love, a movie ticket that changed everything. What happens when 4-year-old twins secretly buy movie tickets for their single mother, and she sits beside a man who isn't just a stranger, but a billionaire with a hidden past? Was their meeting an accident or destiny carefully planned by two little hearts? One moment, one conversation, one secret that could change their lives forever. Will love bloom? What happens when the truth is revealed? And how did the twins know this day would matter? Don't miss the full story. Like if you believe in fate. Subscribe for more heartwarming, suspense-filled stories that begin with the unexpected. Because sometimes, the smallest heroes create the biggest miracles.
The dinosaur jar sat on the lowest shelf in the living room, its green plastic mouth frozen open in a forever roar. Inside it rattled coins, pennies, nickels, a few shiny quarters. To most people, it was nothing special. To Milo and Mira, it was important. The twins sat cross-legged on the floor, their heads bent together so close their curls touched. They were only 4, but right now they felt very serious. "Mama is sad sometimes," Mira whispered, clutching her stuffed rabbit. Milo nodded. He had seen it too, the way their mother, Lena, smiled while washing dishes, but sighed when she thought no one was watching. The way she stared at her phone at night, then hugged them extra tight before bed. "She needs a happy," Milo said carefully, choosing the biggest word he knew. Mira's eyes drifted to the television, where a colorful movie preview flashed across the screen. Dancing characters, bright lights, laughter. Her face lit up. "A movie happy," she said. The twins slowly turned toward the dinosaur jar. That afternoon, Lena was folding laundry, humming softly, unaware of the tiny plan forming behind her. Milo dragged the jar across the floor with a soft scrape. Mira tried to help, nearly tipping it over. "Shh," Milo warned. "Surprise!" They waited until Lena slipped on her shoes to check the mail. The moment the door closed, the twins sprang into action. They twisted the jar open, spilling coins across the carpet like treasure. Mira gasped, "So many!" They counted the only way they knew how, by lining the coins in crooked rows and tapping each one twice. When they were done, Milo announced, "Enough for Mama." By the time Lena came back inside, the dinosaur jar was empty, and the twins were smiling far too innocently. "Mama," Mira said, grabbing her hand, "we go outside." "Together," Milo added. Lena laughed softly. "All right, little bosses." She didn't notice the coins hidden in Milo's jacket pocket. She didn't know where they were leading her, and she certainly didn't know that in just a few hours, one ordinary movie seat would place her beside a man whose life and secrets were about to collide with hers. Because sometimes destiny doesn't knock. Sometimes it's dragged across the floor in a plastic dinosaur jar.
The movie theater smelled like buttered popcorn and something sweet that made Mira's nose wrinkle. "Smells yellow," she announced. Milo nodded. "Happy yellow." Lena laughed, though she was confused about why they were there at all. The twins held her hands tightly, tugging her toward the glowing ticket counter like they were on a mission. The cashier leaned over the counter, smiling. "What can I help you with?" Milo stood on his tiptoes. "2 tickets. For Mama. And a happy movie," Mira added, pushing a handful of coins forward. Some rolled away. One clinked loudly. Lena froze. "Wait. What?" Before she could protest, the cashier gently counted the coins, her smile softening. "You've got just enough." Lena's breath caught. She knelt and pulled the twins into a hug, blinking back tears. "You didn't have to do this." Mira patted her cheek. "Yes, we did." Inside the theater, soft lights glowed like tiny stars. The twins were guided to a small kids' play corner nearby, supervised and safe, while Lena was handed a single ticket. "One seat," Lena murmured, confused. Milo grinned. Mama sits alone. Mama rests. The screen flickered to life as Lena slid into her seat, heart full and uncertain. Just as she set her purse down, a calm voice spoke beside her. "Excuse me, is anyone sitting here?" She turned. The man beside her was tall, neatly dressed, and strangely familiar, like someone she might have seen once in passing but never truly noticed. His eyes held quiet depth, not rushed, not distracted. "No," Lena said softly. "It's free." He thanked her and sat. There was a pause, comfortable, not awkward. As the previews rolled, he offered popcorn. "Only if you don't mind sharing," he said. She smiled. "I don't." They didn't talk much at first. Then he laughed at a silly preview, and she did too. Their laughter overlapped, surprising them both. "My kids bought this ticket," Lena said suddenly, gesturing toward the play area. "Twins, 4 years old." His expression shifted, not to polite interest, but something warmer. "That's incredible." "They think I need a happy day," she said. He nodded slowly. "They're right." As the movie played, Lena felt something she hadn't felt in a long time. Ease. No pressure. No explanations. Just quiet companionship. What she didn't know was that the man beside her, Ethan Vale, owned half the skyline outside the theater, that his life was carefully guarded by assistants, contracts, and silence. And what he didn't know was that this woman, sitting beside him with tear-bright eyes and a heart worn soft by love, was about to become the one thing his wealth could never buy. As the lights dimmed and the movie began, fate settled into the empty space between them, watching, waiting. The movie ended with applause and laughter. But for Lena, the real story had been unfolding quietly in the dark. As the lights slowly came back on, she realized she hadn't checked the time once. Not once had she worried about the next bill, the next chore, the next long night. She had simply been. And beside her, the stranger, Ethan, rose from his seat at the same moment she did. "That was unexpectedly good," he said. Lena smiled. The twins have excellent taste. They walked out together, the hum of the theater returning. Footsteps, chatter, the crinkle of candy wrappers. Near the play corner, Milo and Mira spotted their mother and came running. "Mama!" Mira called, nearly tripping over her own shoes. Lena knelt and hugged them. "Did you behave?" "Yes," Milo said proudly, then looked up at Ethan. "Did you like the happy movie?" "I did," Ethan said, crouching to their level. "You two planned it, didn't you?" Mira giggled. "Secret plan." Ethan's smile lingered a second longer than necessary. "You're very brave planners." As they stood, one of the theater staff approached, speaking quickly and nervously. "Mr. Vale?" "Sir, your driver is here. We've been trying to reach you." Lena stiffened. "Mr. Vale?" Ethan closed his eyes briefly, as if he'd hoped this moment wouldn't come yet. "Thank you," he said quietly. "I'll be there in a moment." The staff member nodded and walked away. Lena's heart skipped, not with excitement, but uncertainty. She turned to him. "You didn't mention—" "I didn't want to," Ethan said gently. "Not tonight." The twins, sensing a shift they couldn't name, held Lena's hands again. "Are you going?" Mira asked. Ethan knelt once more, his voice soft. "I have to, but I hope I'll see you again." Lena hesitated. Then she reached into her purse and pulled out a crumpled receipt, writing her name and number on the back. "For honesty," she said. "Not for money." Ethan accepted it like it was something priceless. As he walked away, a sleek black car waited outside, engine humming. Lena watched him disappear into it, the door closing quietly. Too quietly for something that felt so loud inside her chest. "Mama," Mila said, tugging her sleeve. "His name was secret." She looked down. "What do you mean?" "He didn't say it first," Milo explained seriously. "Other people did." Lena glanced at the receipt still warm in her hand. suddenly aware of how little she truly knew about the man she'd shared a moment with. Some names are powerful, some names are hidden, and some, once spoken aloud, change everything.
The twins were asleep when the phone rang. It was nearly midnight, the apartment wrapped in the soft hush that only came after long days and tired hearts. Lena lay on the couch, one arm draped over a folded blanket, staring at the ceiling. Her thoughts kept drifting back to the theater, the laughter, the warmth, the man who had felt real in a way she hadn't expected. Her phone buzzed again. She frowned. No one ever called this late. The screen lit up with an unfamiliar number. For a moment, she let it ring. Then something inside her, curiosity, instinct, fate, pushed her thumb to answer. Hello? There was a pause on the other end. A breath. It's Ethan, the voice said. I hope I'm not waking you. Her heart skipped. I wasn't asleep. I almost didn't call, he admitted. I told myself it wouldn't be fair. To who? Lena asked softly. To you, he said. To your children. To the quiet life you clearly protect. She sat up, suddenly wide awake. You don't know my life. No, Ethan said, but I know mine. And it's loud, complicated, watched. Lena glanced toward the bedroom door, where Milo and Mira slept curled together like question marks. Then why call? Another pause, longer this time. Because for 2 hours, he said, I wasn't Ethan Vale, CEO. I wasn't a headline or a negotiation. I was just a man sitting next to a woman who reminded me what normal feels like. Lena swallowed. Normal isn't easy, she said. It's just honest. That's exactly why I'm scared, he replied. Silence settled between them, not awkward, but heavy. Honest. Can we meet again? Ethan asked. Somewhere simple, no cameras, no assistants. Lena closed her eyes. She thought of responsibilities, of disappointment, of hope she learned to keep folded away. Coffee, she said finally. 1 hour. Daytime. Ethan let out a breath that sounded like relief. I'll take it. When the call ended, Lena stared at the phone in her hand. The apartment felt different now, charged, uncertain. From the hallway, a small voice drifted out. Mama! Lena hurried to the doorway. Mira sat up in bed, eyes half open. Is the movie man okay? Lena brushed her hair gently. Yes, sweetheart, he's okay. Milo rolled over, mumbling. Told you he'd call. Lena smiled despite herself. But across the city, in a glass-walled penthouse, Ethan stood staring out at the lights below, knowing he had just stepped into something no amount of money could control. Some calls open doors. Others erase walls you didn't know you built. And this one should never have come. But now that it had, there was no going back. The cafe was small, tucked between a bookstore and a flower shop that always smelled like rain-soaked roses. It was the kind of place people passed without noticing, exactly what Lena had wanted. She arrived early. The twins dropped off at preschool, her hands wrapped around a cup she hadn't yet tasted. She wore no makeup, just a soft sweater and jeans. This was her armor, ordinary. The bell above the door chimed. Ethan stepped inside, scanning the room instinctively, years of habit. Then his shoulders relaxed when he saw her. No suit today, no polished shoes, just a dark jacket and tired eyes that looked strangely relieved. No entourage? Lena said lightly as he approached. Locked them out, he replied. It felt necessary. They ordered coffee and sat near the window. Outside, life moved normally, people laughing, dogs tugging on leashes, a child spinning in circles for no reason at all. This is dangerous for you, Lena said, stirring her cup. Being seen with me. For once, Ethan said, I don't want to be safe. She studied him then, not the billionaire, not the myth, but the man who looked like he hadn't slept enough in years. I can't offer you excitement, Lena said quietly, or luxury. I offer routines, sticky fingers, early mornings. Ethan smiled. You're describing peace. She laughed softly, surprised. You don't even know them yet. I know enough, he said. They bought you a movie ticket with love. That tells me everything. A shadow passed over Lena's face. I protect them. From confusion, from disappointment. So do I, Ethan admitted. From my world. Their eyes met, and for a moment, the cafe faded away. Then Ethan's phone buzzed. Once, twice. He flipped it face down without looking. Lena noticed.
That's the world you're ignoring. Yes, he said. And it won't like it. Outside, a black SUV rolled slowly past the window and didn't stop. Lena's chest tightened. Ethan, I won't bring chaos into your life, he said firmly, but I won't walk away from something real either. She took a breath. Then we go slowly. Slow is good, he agreed. The cafe bell chimed again as they stood to leave, neither quite ready to say goodbye, neither noticing the man across the street lowering his phone after taking a photo. Some coffee dates are innocent, some are reckless, and some become evidence.
The photo hit the internet before the coffee had even gone cold. It appeared first as a whisper, shared in private group chats, forwarded without captions. A grainy image taken from across the street. Ethan Vale leaning slightly forward, smiling at a woman by a cafe window. The angle caught intimacy without context. It always did. By noon, it had a headline, "Billionaire CEO spotted with mystery woman. Who is she?" Lena didn't see it at first. She was at work, sorting files, thinking about preschool pickup and whether she'd remembered to pack Milo's favorite snack. Her phone was on silent, tucked into her bag. Ethan saw it immediately. His assistant burst into his office, tablet in hand, face pale. "Sir, we have a situation." Ethan didn't need to look. He already knew. Still, when the image filled the screen, something in his chest tightened. "That cafe was supposed to be quiet," the assistant said. "We're scrubbing comments, but—" "Stop," Ethan said sharply. "Don't dig into her." The assistant hesitated. "The media will." "Then let them," Ethan said, "but we don't." Across the city, Lena's phone finally buzzed. Once, then again, then nonstop. Unknown numbers, messages from coworkers. "Is this you? Do you know him? Turn on the news." Her hands trembled as she opened the link. There she was, her sweater, her smile, her life, suddenly public. The room felt too small, too loud. She locked herself in the restroom, staring at the screen until the words blurred. When her phone rang again, she answered without looking. "I'm so sorry," Ethan said, his voice tight with anger, at himself, at the world. "I never wanted this for you." "They'll find my children," Lena whispered. "They always do." There was silence on the line, heavy and immediate. "They won't," Ethan said, firmly. "I promise you that." "How?" she asked. "Because this is where I draw the line." That afternoon, a second headline appeared. Ethan Vale issues rare statement. "My private life is not a spectacle." No name was mentioned, no woman identified, no details offered, but the damage was already done. At preschool pickup, Lena felt eyes on her, curious, searching. She kept her head down, gripping the twins' hands tightly. "Mama," Mira said, sensing the tension, "are we in trouble?" Lena knelt, brushing her curls back. "No, baby. We're just seen." That night, Lena sat on the couch, the apartment dark except for the glow of her phone. A message from Ethan waited unsent, hovering between them. Some photographs capture moments, some steal privacy, and some force a choice that can't be undone. The playground was unusually quiet that afternoon. Lena sat on a bench, her hands folded tightly in her lap, watching Milo and Mira chase each other beneath the slide. Their laughter rose and fell like birdsong, unaware, untouched. She wished she could keep it that way forever. Her phone vibrated. "Ethan, I'm outside your building. I won't come up unless you say so." She stared at the message for a long moment. 10 minutes. The park. When he arrived, Ethan didn't look like the man from magazines or boardrooms. He looked tired. Human. The kind of tired that came from realizing control was an illusion. "I should stay away," he said as soon as he reached her. "That would be the responsible thing." "Yes," Lena said quietly. "It would." They stood in silence, watching the twins race past them. "Then why does this feel like running away?" he asked. "Because it is," Lena replied. "But sometimes running away is how you protect what matters." Ethan turned to her. "I can build walls, security, Legal fire breaks. I can make the world behave. She shook her head. You can't. And I won't raise my children behind gates, physical or emotional. Milo ran up, slightly out of breath. Mama, the man from the movie. Ethan crouched instantly. Hi, Milo. You came back, Mira said, studying him carefully. I did, Ethan said, but I need to ask you something. The twins leaned in. Is it okay if I care about your mama? He asked. Milo considered this deeply. Mira crossed her arms. She gets sad sometimes, Mira said, but she's strong. I know, Ethan said softly. Milo nodded once. Don't make her cry. I won't, Ethan promised, and for the first time in his life, it wasn't a calculated vow. It was a line. Lena felt tears sting her eyes. This is the line, she said. My children come first. Always. Ethan straightened. Then that's where I'll stand too, or I won't stand at all. She searched his face, looking for hesitation. There was none. But across the park, a woman pretended to scroll on her phone, her camera angled just enough. Some lines are drawn with words, some with fear, and some with love strong enough to risk breaking. A single photograph started it all. A promise was made in a quiet playground. But the world is watching, and it's not done yet. An ultimatum is coming, one that will force a choice between power and protection, between love and walking away. Will Ethan risk everything he built? Will Lena choose safety over her heart? And what happens when the twins' innocent plan collides with a world that doesn't play fair? Secrets are about to surface. Eyes are closer than they seem, and one decision will change every life forever. Like if you believe love is worth the risk. Subscribe so you don't miss the next part of this emotional, suspense-filled story. Because the next part isn't just a chapter, it's a turning point.